When people think of Avatar, they think of the 4 main abilities. But did you know that there's actually 12 secret special abilities that only the most powerful benders can do? And today we're gonna be checking them all out and ranking them to find out what special bending ability is the strongest.
Adam, it's clearly going to be blood bending. There is nothing stronger than that.
Jack, that's where you're off. Have you ever heard of lava bending? Being able to take rock and turn it into lava?
You're right. There's also spirit bending. I kind of forgot about that one.
You guys are both numbnuts! Metal bending is the best, and you're about to find out why.
Different special bending powers that only a select few among the entire world of Avatar can use? Well, today, we'll explain each of these unique bending abilities as we rank its most powerful users. There are 3 unique bending abilities for water, 3 for fire, 3 for earth, 2 for air, and another special one we'll cover in the very end. Just a small heads up, the ranking of benders will be based on how proficient they are at this
we
specific
forgot about lightning
bending form, and not on overall strength. Let's start from water, and probably the most fearsome and at the same time powerful bending
This is the
ability,
front runner for
blood bending.
sure.
Blood bending is a
Yes!
specialized subskill
This is
and
what
a very
Jack
rare
said.
variant of waterbending that allows an extremely advanced waterbender to take hold of and manipulate the blood within an organism's body, allowing the bender to move the person's muscles. This technique is
Okay, when Katara first does this in this series, dude, you literally think that she's going to the dark side. It's like the most evil version of bending. It's like she is Darth Vader controlling somebody's body. It's like if I could just take control of Adam and I can make him do whatever I want.
Adam, wake up.
Do it, Adam.
Adam,
Yeah.
wake up!
Oh, yeah, Adam, you did that yourself, Adam.
Oh God.
So, yeah, I mean, blood bending is definitely, in my opinion, like one of the strongest bendings of all time, but comment down below which bending you think will be the best.
technique is referred to as the highest level of waterbending, as well as the darkest, most powerful, and most feared of all
yeah.
bending techniques. The technique was discovered by a waterbender named Hama while she was detained in a prison designed by the Fire Nation specifically to hold waterbenders. During her detainment, she realized that all life contains water and proceeded to develop the knowledge and skills of the art by practicing on elephant rats, later employing the technique on
that's
her
gross.
guards to escape. The forms and styles used by bloodbenders resemble how a puppeteer controls a marionette. The complexity and sophistication required to perform the art usually only allows for its use during a full moon, when a waterbender's power is at its absolute peak. Only Yakan, Tarlok, and Aman have shown the ability of performing the art without the aid of the full moon. Being naturally talented and having trained vigorously,
Yeah.
Yakan and Aman were capable of bloodbending without using their arms, also known as psychic bloodbending. When it
And the best part about blood bending that they haven't even mentioned yet is that you can actually blood bend and lock somebody else's bending. So like, let's say that you're a firebender, I can literally blood bend and then you can no longer use your firebending. That's so overpowered.
I mean, that was the main villain of season 1 of Korra. He was a secret bloodbender. Everybody thought that he was like, he had some special power from God, that he was just like a non-bender, but the reveal was that he was an actual bloodbender, which makes him one of the scariest supervillains of all time.
So they can just like flick a switch inside you. That's like, psh, no more powers for you. Done. What if
Yeah,
you do
the
that to the
bending-
Avatar?
The bending is based on like your inner chakras. So he was locking their like inner like blood chakras, and then literally their bodies didn't know how to bend because it was locked inside of them. And they thought that he did have like this spiritual avatar power because Aang was the only one that could ever take away bending, and then he did it too.
But it's only against humans. Like, think about the other abilities and like not specifically against humans, just like against the whole world. Like something like lava, you can really manipulate whole cities, not just
This
individual
guy's still
people.
going on about lava.
I'm just saying, keep it in mind.
really
You're just
selling
talking
lava.
about people. On 1v1s, I think it would be pretty strong. The blood bending would probably be strongest.
The weakest of them is actually the creator of this technique, Hama. At
Hama
number 4,
stinks.
Katara, that showed incredible feats
Womp
over
womp.
this ability.
Put
Even
some
defeating
respect on
Hama in a
Katara's
1v1
name.
bloodbending
She's not a good
on her first
bloodbender.
ever
She can only do
try.
it during
As
a full
time
moon.
passed, Katara became incredibly
Bro, we literally saw her when she was like 16 years old. We don't know. Maybe she continued to get better at bloodbending as she got older.
What's she gonna practice it? Katara would never practice this. You're not a true fan if you think Katara could bloodbend without a full moon. She would never practice that dark art, you idiot.
I don't know. I think push come to shove, Katara is the strongest waterbender of all time.
Get out of here.
stronger and more efficient in the skill. However, the main difference between her and the rest of the 3 bloodbenders is that Katara needed the presence of the full moon in order to be able to use this skill.
She was
3,
16.
we have Tarlok, while at number 2, we have his brother Noatak, also
Jack,
known
I think
as
you just
Amon.
got owned.
How do
And
we know
dude,
that
they,
Noatak
both
was
of
a
those
better
kids could do it when they were
bloodbender than his brother?
14.
See, as a matter of
Younger
fact,
than
Dad
Katara.
trained them.
simply
Katara didn't even
superior to his
discover it
brother
until
in
she was
every
like
way,
15.
including the usage of his psychic bloodbending that required no gestures or movements, while Tarlok's did. Amon also displayed an ability unique to just him. By bloodbending, he can make the people watching watching this video, click the subscribe button. Unlike the rest of his
That's
actions,
true.
this would actually be good for you. As with that, you will receive the best anime and Avatar content there is on YouTube. But seriously, Amon did display a unique ability through bloodbending. By touching the targets on the forehead and performing his bloodbending technique, he could permanently take people's bending away. As we saw, this was later negated by the Avatar's powers. But still, under normal circumstances, this action is permanent. And finally, the strongest bloodbender in history, Yakan, the father of Tarlok and Noatak. You see, Yakan was the first ever character to achieve
think he was the
bloodbending
strongest.
without the presence of the full moon.
Dude, he
Yakan
literally
was so strong
overpowered
that he
Aang.
managed to
I think
put to
Amon
sleep
is
an
stronger
entire
than him.
courtroom full of powerful benders like Toph and Aang.
Dude, Yakone literally took down the entire room of the original Avatar squad.
But I think he trained his son to be even stronger than he was.
Well, he did eventually, but it's tough to say because eventually he just got really, really old, right? So the older you get, the less powerful you are.
So Amon's stronger. Amon was training since he was like 2 years old.
Amon couldn't take down even the original Avatar squad.
What are you saying? Yes, he could.
No, he couldn't. Dude, Yakone could, but Amon, there's no way.
What?
Amon couldn't even defeat the teenagers. He literally got beat by teenage Korra.
He literally died from his brother blowing up the ship. He was undefeated.
Tarlok took him down.
Yaman would win. That's what I'm saying. Yaman would totally win.
Dude, I remember this scene where Amon literally bloodbended his dad.
His dad was like 85.
He overpowered his dad. You're trying to say his dad is stronger.
When he was his age, yes.
It's not,
Dude,
dude,
that's like
bloodbending is not a
saying that
physical
you-
thing.
you gotta
Bloodbending is
look at them
literally,
in their
they're
prime,
using
all right?
elements. It's not
You
like they're
gotta
like
look at
arm
them in
wrestling.
their prime. You can't just
Some of
say
the
that,
best-
oh, you can't say Michael Jordan, you know, is better than, or LeBron's better than Michael Jordan.
No,
It's all about the primes.
So you're trying to say King Boomy was weak because he's old. He was one of the
Hey,
strongest.
stop,
What about the
stop,
entire White
stop.
Lotus?
I'm not trying to say that, like, they're weak and then they're
Uncle
old.
Ira,
I'm just
gonna be
saying
the
they
A.
get weaker with age. That's just what happens, Adam. You're gonna get old and you're gonna lose all your muscles, and you might get smarter.
Bloodbending has nothing to do with
Prime
muscles.
age. Yeah, Aang later put Yakan in his place, but still, even Prime Aang was almost done for. Next, we have the second
All right,
special
next.
bending ability of water, healing. You see, healing is a unique ability possessed by some waterbenders that enables them to heal those who have been wounded.
Nobody
Yeah,
cares
this is
about
lame.
It
healing.
can also alleviate certain
I might
types
say
of
Katara's the
stress
best
caused by
healer,
mental
'cause she
strain.
practiced that a
While
lot.
The technique is effective in many contexts.
definitely is
it
the
is
best.
actually limited. For example,
Here we go
healing is
again.
ineffective in treating
Just saying, there's no maybes, there's no buts. She is the
I'll
best
agree
healer
with
of all
you.
There's
time.
definitely buts,
Princess
but no
Yui's birth.
maybes.
In most instances, healing is also ineffective when treating scars or fatal injuries. Katara, for example, was unable to heal the internal injuries sustained by Jet in his duel.
Katara
with
literally
Aang.
brought
Healing
Aang
can
back
also
to
be used
life.
Yeah, but the thing with healing is, it's not really like it is a skill, but it's more about the water. It's not about the skill of the healer. We found that out because at the season finale of season 2, when Aang got zapped by the lightning, it was the spiritual water that saved him, not Katara.
So you have to have like really pure water. The
Yeah.
more pure water.
It has to
had
be
to-
the
it's
better
spirit
healing
water.
ability.
So healing is a cool ability, but it's not like I think it's more based off the water, not the.
I'm sure it's got to be a mix of both, though. Surely you can be a bad healer.
Ah, that's a great call, Alec. Good input,
All right, then.
Alec.
I'm just gonna shut up and
Yeah, you
sit
could be a
back.
bad healer, that's for sure.
If it's not clear already, I haven't watched too much Avatar, but these two guys are they love it. So I'm sitting here and just enjoying the show
Alec
with the
would be a
rest of you
firebender.
guys.
Look at that flamer.
I would
is
probably
in
be
the
a
body where
firebender.
chi flow
You'd
is
be a
blocked,
non-bender.
as displayed by Katara when she sensed the energy locked within Aang's chakra during a healing session. That being said, healing cannot undo a blockage to a bender's chi. Moreover,
happened to
it
that
can restore
person?
bending after it has
Bad
been
things.
severed through bloodbending, even if the healer is proficient in the technique's practice. The healing abilities of a waterbender can also be affected by the water they use. For instance, water from the Spirit Oasis has special properties that can heal wounds otherwise
ahead, Adam.
unaffected by regular
Adam, you
water.
should have made
such
this
as the
video.
fatal wounds Aang
I can make this
sustained
video
at
way
the
better
hands
than
of
this guy.
Azula during their battle. The healers
No,
worth
don't say
mentioning
that. I
here
think
are
he's my
Duke,
guy.
Katara,
He's
and her
pretty
daughter
cool.
Kaya. There are obviously more healers in Avatar, but they were not really given much attention. Between
Nah,
Katara
nobody really
and
cared
Kaya,
about the
it's
healers.
obvious that Katara
I don't think we've ever seen
is
a male
much better
healer before.
than her daughter, and did not show to be anything.
No, that's because all of the women were only allowed to be healers. They weren't allowed to be waterbenders.
Yeah, I mean, like even in Korra though, when that cultural thing kind of like left, and the guys and girls all meshed together, we still didn't heal. We didn't see a male healer.
Yeah.
Got all women.
Special in this area. Even though, as we previously stated, bloodbending is probably the most fearsome ability in Avatar. Let me tell you,
Bloodbending's above
spirit
healing.
bending is just as destructive in certain
Spirit bending's
occasions.
water?
How? Well, it is as
It could
destructive
be,
as
yeah.
bloodbending.
Yeah,
And
technically.
this time, it affects both normal people and spirits.
I didn't
Okay,
like this,
hear me
though.
out. Spirit bending is a variation of the healing technique, which allows the
Her
user
uncle
to affect the
invented it or
balance or
something.
imbalance within spirits. To perform the technique, a waterbender encircles the spirit with a thin stream of water, which begins to glow when the technique is taking effect. When used to change a spirit's negative energy into positive energy, the water, followed by the spirit, will begin to glow a golden light, at which point the spirit dissipates or assumes a pacified form. before. When the technique is used to change positive energy into negative energy, the water and spirit emanate a purple light. When used against humans, the variation has the potential to destroy their souls. The only known users who manage this special bending ability are Unalaq and Korra.
I just want to forget that
was actually
spirit
the
bending's
one
even
who
a thing.
invented this technique and was by far
Yeah,
the
it
most
got kinda
proficient
weird.
in it. Unalaq later taught this
It's
bending ability
annoying.
to
I
Avatar
don't like it at
Korra as
all.
well. Which, yeah, this proved to be a fatal mistake for Unalaq, as this exact ability was later used against him. Having
Bye-bye,
covered
Unalaq.
water, let's analyze
turned
its
into
polar
Godzilla versus
opposite,
King Kong.
fire. The first special ability is none other than combustion.
Yeah, let's
bending.
go!
Bending is a form of
Combustion man!
kinetic
He is
bending
my
that
favorite
capable of
villain
unleashing
in
Sparky
Avatar.
Boom Man.
This
He's
guy is
awesome.
scary. This guy is like the only, or one of the only actual scary characters.
He doesn't say a single word the entire show, and he's so terrifying. That's
he reminds
crazy.
me of like the Terminator.
Yeah, he's pretty. Yeah,
Just like a robot,
Basically,
scary guy.
that's probably what he was based on, honestly.
yeah, he's the only guy that probably has a bigger forehead than you.
Okay, you know what? I'm actually never gonna say another thing in this whole video.
explosions. It consists of the ability to channel chi through the forehead, which is often marked by a third eye tattoo, superheating the surrounding air and producing a beam of explosive
It's so easy
energy
to beat, though,
capable
with
of immense
earthbending.
damage, both in short
Yeah.
and long range. Unlike conventional firebending, which produces a flame from the body, the technique instead creates a powerful
I wonder why
beam
they
that
can't also
explodes upon
firebend.
contact with a solid surface. Combustion bending
kinda
can
weird.
instantaneously
It's like its own bending.
evaporate large bodies of water, shatter massive rock formations, and counter fire attacks, as demonstrated by Combustion Man when he stopped Zuko's fire shield during a brief altercation at the Western Air Temple. Lee has also demonstrated that it is possible to curve the beams. Despite its great power, the weaknesses of combustion bending are equally apparent. It requires a clear and uninterrupted
saying?
chi flow and a
Yeah.
properly calibrated focus in order to be effective. As if the chi flow is even slightly disturbed, then the
Wait, did
ability
she just
will
firebend?
catastrophically malfunction.
No.
A glancing blow like from a pebble will cause the charged attack to detonate the air around the user, whilst a heavy hit, such as when Sokka hit Combustion Man's third eye tattoo with his boomerang, will cause a massive point-blank explosion. The third eye tattoo may also be a partial weakness, as those familiar with the technique can identify a combustion bender by the presence and actively target the tattoo as a weak point. The process of combustion bending cannot be cancelled out like a conventional fire attack once charged up, and it also relies on an unobstructed path to destroy its target, detonating early if an unexpected obstacle gets in the way. If this happens, or the user is not able to control their power, then it can be deadly or even fatal to them. This
I feel like you just went through like 2 entire minutes of talking about how bad combustion bending is.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that not what just
it's
happened?
cool
Like, it's
in the
kinda
show.
trash.
It's cool, but if you actually versed a combustion bender and you were a bloodbender, a little bit of that, you're dead. Like it's not even. It's like
There's just too many counters to a combustion bender that it just doesn't like, it's really powerful to have on your team, but if it's like a 1v1, combustion benders are not gonna win.
you're pretty much like a nuclear bomb, but you could blow yourself up so easily.
It's kind of like Voltorb. He uses explosion, which is kind of cool, but it's like you kind of hurt yourself by having that ability.
Well said.
It's definitely doesn't even compete with bloodbending, not even close.
Lee's combustion beam was contained within a makeshift box made from Suyin Beifong's armor, causing the explosion to
Bye-bye.
occur just centimeters away
Metal
from her
bending.
head. Another case was when
And she
Combustion
did.
Man
Metal
was
bending,
unable
yeah,
to
is way
control
better
his
than
ability
combustion bending.
and blew his right arm and leg off.
He literally
Though
blew
individual
himself up.
firebenders are sometimes born with a natural affinity for combustion bending, it is
What if you,
not
like,
an
sneezed
inherited
and
skill.
accidentally blew
Instead,
up
combustion
yourself?
benders are effectively
That's
made
what he
through
did to his
special
arm.
training programs involving,
he did that to
among
his
other
mom.
things, the extended submersion of the trainees in water. However, this training is brutal, and only few firebenders are able to master the skill. The first project which resulted in the discovery of combustion bending, Unanimity, was only able to produce 3 combustion benders, and one of them suggested that all the other trainees had died. There have been 5 known practitioners
that
of this
makes sense.
technique.
Where is that from?
Combustion Man, Pli, Yingsu,
Probably from the
Xiaoyun,
books.
and Thappa,
Oh.
with the last 3 being featured in the light novels. Leaving out the 3 characters
Yeah.
of the light novels, if we had
You
to
read the
rank them, I
novels,
believe
Jack?
Combustion Man would
yeah, I
take the
did.
number 1 spot, while Pli would take number 2.
Guys, before we started this video, Jack and Adam got into a heated debate about who knew more about Avatar. So I'm just watching this go down, and I think I love it. I love it. So Jack has read the books apparently.
Books are actually really good. The one on Yang Chen, it's like, it's good, but it's like more political than the other one. So like, I would read the other one, definitely.
Adam doesn't read, so he's got you there, Adam. He
Adam
does
has
have
to
you
watch.
there. What?
Adam-
You guys comment down below who you think knows more about Avatar. Is it Jack or is it Adam? So far, I think I gotta go Adam, but Jack did read the books, which is definitely many bonus points there. It's
Did you read the comics, Adam? Did you see how Zuko found his mom?
I saw a video. I saw a video of somebody reading the book.
Of course you did.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Number 2. A reason for that was that Combustion Man literally had the entire Avatar team running for their lives and could not even get near them. It's not an exaggeration to say that without Sokka's boomerang, Combustion Man could surely take down a few, if not all, of the members of Team Aang.
All right,
now,
move on.
did
We don't
you
need
think
combustion.
bending was
Let's get outta here.
lethal? Well, hear this next one.
Here we
Lightning
go.
generation
Now
is
we got some
the
power.
easiest form
I
of
have
This
some
is
opinions
this
about
is
lightning bending.
Lightning.
They nerfed the crap out of this, though, in
bolt of
Korra.
electricity from their fingertip. Physically, generating lightning involves a circular motion with the arms. Mentally, it involves a complete absence of emotion, as well as peace of mind, thus allowing an individual to separate the energies of yin and yang, also interpreted as positive and negative electrical potential, respectively. When the forces collide, the bender guides rather than controls the lightning's direction. This process is taxing on a bender's chi reserves due to its complexity. The electrical arc produced by this technique can be maintained for several seconds, during which time the lightning can be swept about to produce widespread damage. The charge, and thus the damage of the lightning strike, can be regulated, as seen by when Mako was capable of firing a blast strong enough to incapacitate Amon, but otherwise leave him unharmed. We also saw something like this happening in the comics, where Azula managed to hit Zuko with a lightning attack,
Jack
which in
knows
the
this.
end did not even harm Zuko, but rather just threw him
Yeah.
back a few meters. Prior to the end of the 100-Year War, few firebenders were known to be capable of generating lightning. For centuries, the skill
And then
was
they
so rare
ruined
that
it.
few even knew that it was possible at all. A few decades later, however, during the events of Legend of Korra, we saw that, particularly in Republic City, lightning generation was used to
Okay, so here's the thing, right? There were only a few people that could lightning bend originally in Avatar. So it was cool. It was epic. It was amazing. And then they gave it to everybody. They gave it to everybody. Zuko, one of the most powerful firebenders, couldn't even lightning bend. And then they're telling me all these normies can do it? Not a chance.
It's kind of the same thing that what they did with metal bending.
Yeah.
Maybe they just were able to
exactly.
teach it better.
I can't believe that they used it for like all of this stuff. They literally have people in the mines
It was
with
so stupid.
electricity.
Because they said it was so taxing to just do one attack, but now they're like, they have full-time jobs where they just do little zaps. It turned from lightning to like getting shocked from touching an outlet when you're not supposed to.
They don't even do the water bending motion because lightning bending is based in water bending, and they're literally not even doing the water bending motion. They're not all about the flow. They're just like that.
If you think about it, lightning kind of is very similar to combustion bending.
You lost me.
It's a very powerful attack, or at least it used to be. It's a very powerful attack that once it leaves your body, you really can't control it. And it could be taxing on yourself if done wrong, because a lot of people, once you generate the lightning, if you don't release it, you can actually kill yourself.
If it passes through your heart, you'll die. Alec, would you want to be a lightning bender?
Sure, but like you said, it's like way more lame
It's
in
way
Legend
more
of
lame.
Korra.
Yeah. Amon pieced up a lightning bender. Like, he made him look like a joke when they were 1v1ing. So bloodbending is obviously the strongest right now.
generate power for the industrial sector. Even though it was still not widespread, we saw that way more firebenders were capable of this what used to be
there
an
it is.
incredibly rare skill.
And he took
Now,
his bending.
How would we rank the strongest lightning users? At number 5, we would put Azula. That, yes, her lightning attacks
Really?
were incredibly
Yeah.
lethal on one hand, but as we saw, they required a significant time to charge. The same thing occurs with the character we have at number 4, Iroh. Generally, lightning attacks
Iroh made
take
it
much
look so
longer
cool.
time to initiate than standard fire attacks. That being said, certain firebenders like Ozai and Mako are able to generate lightning at
No,
extremely
are they about to say
high
Mako's
speeds.
the
As we saw
strongest
with
lightning
Ozai,
bender?
The very split second the
He
solar
does it a
eclipse
lot
was
more.
over,
than
Over the
every
Fire
single
Lord?
ever do it.
he
Bro.
instantly fired an attack on Zuko, something that neither Azula nor Iroh were capable of doing. Something similar applies to Mako, that was able to attack almost instantly
I'm over
using
it.
lightning.
That
A
is kinda
character that
crazy.
could almost instantly fire lightning as well was Iroh, Zuko's grandson. Yeah, this character is as underrated as it gets. He literally stopped an entire aircraft fleet on his own, and lightning attacks was just one of his ways to do that. Given, however, that Ozai was a bit faster than both Mako and Iroh when it comes to generating lightning, we'll be placing Mako at number 3, Iroh
Yes.
at number 2, and Ozai at number 1.
All right,
Oh,
all
wait,
right,
Adam,
all right, I
wait,
knew it.
Adam, you kind of nailed that though. That was crazy.
I told you the Fire
ahead,
Lord had to be
go
the
ahead.
strongest. There's no way.
Yeah, that would have been nuts if they didn't put him at number 1.
Jack, I thought you said Mako was probably the strongest.
No, I thought it was maybe gonna be Mako, but Mako doesn't have like the guns of Ozai.
Okay, question though. Are you really the Avatar if you don't master all of like the extra bending, you know?
Some people can't.
Yeah.
Some people don't have access to metal bending. Some people can't lightning
Yeah.
bend. It's,
Yeah, but with the Avatar I'm saying. Like if you're the
yeah,
Avatar.
like even the Avatar can't do all
that's
of
what
that
I'm saying.
stuff.
Like, are you really the Avatar if you can't metal bend, if you can't lightning bend? Like, come on. Come
So
on
the
now.
only requirements to be the Avatar is you have to master all 4 elements. That's it.
I understand,
Yeah.
but like my point is like if you master the element, you should be able to do all the other extra elements if you've mastered that element. If you master water bending, that means that you should be able to do the extra extra abilities.
It would be like in Call of Duty, like you get the Mastery 1, right? Like, but bloodbending is like Mastery 4. Like you gotta keep prestiging.
I don't know. I feel like if you're a master, you should know all the techniques.
They know
That's just
they
my
know
opinion.
of the basic element. Yes, they know it. They're masters.
Yeah, but you're the avatar. You should master if you master the technique, you should know all of like the intricacies and all the extra whooplas of the technique.
Maybe that'll be what the next Avatar is about.
If I was the avatar, I would know. I would do it all. I would have it all if I was the avatar.
I think it'd make him too overpowered. I kind of like.
I don't think you would have the time to master
Yeah,
all
there's
that.
so much time. It takes years and years and decades, Alec.
But they're the avatar, bro. They have access to all the knowledge of all the previous avatars. They can
True
just
when they're in the
learn
Avatar
it.
state.
Not true. Not true. Spoiler alert, don't watch Korra if you don't want to know that.
Lightning generation stopped being such a rare ability in Legend of Korra. However, its counter, not so much. You see, lightning redirection remained an incredibly rare skill even decades after it was
That's
first
true.
developed by Iroh. Lightning
calling that a
redirection allows a
subbending?
firebender
It was
to
way
absorb
cooler,
lightning
though,
into the body
when
as energy and release it in a more desirable
wasn't
direction.
so
The
nerfed.
technique was developed by Iroh.
Like, what's the
after
point of
he studied
redirecting a
master
zap?
waterbenders redirecting force rather than opposing it head on. Person redirecting it must create a pathway from their fingertips up the arm to the stomach and up and out of the other arm. It is essential that the lightning passes through the stomach because if the
This is
lightning passes through
debatably
the
cooler
heart, the
than
effects
generating
could
lightning.
be fatal. Lightning can be successfully redirected.
Yeah, this is like being
regardless of
able to
whether the
catch a
source is
bullet and
natural
then
or
throw it back.
generated.
Yeah.
Prior to the end of the 100-Year War, only 3 individuals were known to be capable of redirecting lightning: Iroh, Zuko, and Aang in Legend of Korra. We also saw Mako using lightning redirection while battling a mecha tank during the
That was
battle for
stupid.
Republic City, using the technique to redirect
think I
an
just don't
electric
like Mako.
charge released by an electric grapple the tank
Mako's
could
pretty
fire in the comics.
Mako is
We
so
saw
lame.
Azula redirecting
Comment down
lightning
below if
as
you like
well.
Mako
see,
or not.
Azula used a lightning attack on Zuko. Zuko redirected it back at her, but to everyone's surprise, Azula sent the same lightning back again at Zuko, which is
Oh,
what caught
double
Zuko
Uno
off guard
reverse.
Gotcha.
as the lightning hit him. Thankfully, this lightning seemed to be either extremely weak, either from the start or due to its
what I'm
repeated
talking about with lightning
redirections, and
bending.
thus
It's so
Zuko
weak.
was not harmed. If we had to rank these 5 characters capable of lightning redirection,
Zuko.
we would do as following. Number 5, Azula, that we only saw her using this skill once. Number 4, Aang, that after redirecting lightning, we saw him being weak. As if he
Zuko
did not
number 1, Jack, what do you
properly or
think?
fully redirect it.
Might be
However,
Iroh.
let some of it be absorbed by his
I mean,
body.
he's the-
Number
he's a
3 would
OG.
be
He
Zuko.
created
it.
The reason
No!
for that is not because Zuko had any weaknesses,
1
but
point!
rather simply
Why are they
because
doing
he
young
was
Zuko?
so
Mako!
This
point,
Mako!
Gryffindor!
Oh,
Since we
okay.
saw him
All right,
redirecting
I'll give it to
lightning
Iroh.
extended
I was about to say, if
time
Mako's
nonstop.
number 1.
Number 1,
It's not gonna be Mako,
Iroh.
bro.
Okay, I'll
Created
respect
this
that.
technique to begin with.
It's the big
Both of
boy.
He's the one that
we just
invented it, so I'll give it to him.
seem to have incredibly strong special abilities, right? Well, let's see what abilities the element of air has. The first of the 2.
Okay, one last question about lightning bending in just Avatar, not Legend of Korra. I guess the last Airbender. What do the firebenders who could lightning bend? Do they just own all of the waterbenders? Because like lightning should be super effective against water. So why would they not? Like they could just lightning bend the water people and destroy them. Is that what happened?
It didn't happen that often, no. Because only the Fire Lord, Azula, and Iroh really could generate lightning.
I see.
It was a very.
It didn't
It's
happen
kind of
that
like metal
often.
bending, where only Toph knew how to metal bend, so you can.
I see. Okay. All right.
So the 2 is flight.
Ooh.
Flight, also called weightlessness, is a
forgot about
complex
this.
and extremely
Flight
rare
was
skill
stupid.
This could
that
be
has
number
only
1.
ever been
Yo, you
created by
can
two
flip and
known-
fly. You're like Superman.
Wait, I thought firebenders can fly too, though.
Oh, yeah, it only happened once during the comment.
Yeah, that was because they had the power of the comet, but usually you can't
Sorry,
fly.
Adam. I'm just asking questions. Don't get mad at me.
They can't fly.
Yeah.
No.
You can do that to Jack, but I'm an innocent man over here asking questions.
Adam was about to come to your room and start
No,
bouncing.
Jack, you silly.
No, they can't fly.
They can't
come
fly.
on.
During the
Yeah,
comment,
I don't know. Flying is cool.
And only Fire Lord could fly. No one
Dude,
else.
it's just like, there's only one person that can fly in the entire series, which like, I guess is cool, but it was just like so weird how they did it.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys just don't like Legend of Korra. That's what it sounds like.
They just ruined a lot of like what they set up in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and they soiled it. So yeah, Guru Ligma created flying.
All right, I'm versing Jack and ChatGPT.
Wait, what do you mean? It's on the screen right now.
Yeah, Guru Lagima.
Oh.
Lagima.
I thought you looked it up.
No, Guru Ligme decided that he wanted to create, the pure enlightenment, and then he, was able to fly and become weightless.
That's when you just gotta Michael Jordan his dome and be like, go back to bed.
Bust out the plunger, lock that man down.
Zahir. It is referred to as the highest level of airbending and was such a unique ability that it was believed to only exist in legends. It is achievable through a complete denouncement of all earthly desires, which results in true freedom. Zahir was only able to fly after witnessing his girlfriend Plea die. The principle behind flight is to become one with the wind, mimicking its freedom from limitations and inhibitions in both a physical and mental sense. Once an airbender has embraced these principles, they can fly and hover. However, the bender is still at the mercy of the surrounding environment, as observed by Zahir being affected by a tornado created by Jinora and other airbenders while he tried to escape with Korra. Since we don't really know much about Guru Lagima, we will just place him in number 2 and place Zahir in number 1. Now,
The only two
second
people that
special
can
ability
fly.
of airbenders is something most of the
I hate
people
this so
never
much.
knew is actually
This is OP
specific to
though.
airbenders. Spiritual projection. Spiritual projection is a complex technique that requires a heightened sense of spirituality, allowing one's spirit to move through the physical realm in an intangible form, unbound by a corporeal.
So in Avatar, right? In Avatar: The Last Airbender, Aang did this all the time, but people couldn't see him. He projected his spirit, but he was like trying to get people's attention, and they couldn't see him because he was in the spirit world. But then they go in this show, then the little girl. Yeah, she can do the same thing, but she can like communicate with everybody now. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they're trying to say that Jinora is more spiritually connected to the world than Aang, the freaking Avatar 10-year-old monk. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense.
Another deducted point for Legend of Korra. You guys are smashing this show.
Korra's like a 7, Avatar is like an 11.
Also, side note, I'm really curious to see how many comments we get of the fact that Adam is wearing a tank top and a scarf simultaneously. I've never seen that in my life.
Adam is channeling his inner airbender.
I'm one with the wind.
Adam has
In
an
order to
arrow
create
on
his
his forehead.
projection successfully, a user must be in a silent environment free from distractions, as the use of the technique requires immense focus. Spiritual projections allow users to explore their immediate surroundings, bypassing physical
sometimes do
barriers
this
and
when I'm
different
pooping.
mediums to search through walls as well as underwater. In addition, the technique can also be used to locate specific individuals with whom the user has a strong connection by focusing on the bond between them. Jinora and Mongol showed proficiency in this technique. Now, if you didn't already know, Mongol was a young air nomad who grew up at the Northern Air Temple during the lifetime of Avatar Kyoshi. Spiritual projections are most powerful during times of increased spiritual energy in the atmosphere, such as during harmonic convergence. When used during these occasions, spiritual projections can be maintained for longer periods of time and manifest more clearly, resulting in more distinct apparitions. Now, even though it is not 100% confirmed if this ability is unique to only airbenders, this seems to be the case. If we had to rank the 2 known users of this ability, at number 2, we would put Mongol, and at number 1, Jinora.
Unbiased, I think that is the most powerful ability. I might have to change my answer to that. Cause dude, the season 2 finale of Legend of Korra, she literally beat the evilness of 10,000 years of death and pain and evil with just letting off a butterfly projection. So it was stupid and it made me want to punch.
That was cool? You think
I'm not saying it was cool. I'm saying it was the most powerful thing I've ever seen in my life, and it was stupid. It was stupid. I agree.
You know what I did when I saw that? I smashed my head against the wall until I forgot that even happened.
I mean, we got to go unbiased here. That's the most powerful thing that ever happened in the show.
Maybe she's the most powerful, like, in the spirit dimension, but bro, you can't go and spew out butterfly magic against Ozai. Ozai's he's gonna go like that, and you're dead. You're dead.
You'll find out why in a second.
We have yet to analyze the element
go.
with the most
Metal
interesting
bending.
bending abilities. Earth.
My farts are
go.
stronger
The
than
most widely
spiritual
used
projection.
special ability of Earth is none other than metal bending. Metal bending allows an earthbender to indirectly bend processed metals by manipulating the
think is the
trace
strongest
amounts of
metal
regular
bender?
Earth in them. Much as they
We're gonna
would
find
bend
out.
regular Earth,
I mean,
the
Toph.
ability was discovered and later perfected by Toph Beifong. Through the
Hero?
use of seismic sense, Toph was
It's
able to
definitely
perceive,
Toph.
target, and eventually utilize the trace amounts of Earth present in refined metal in order to bend the metal itself. As the technique involves the manipulation of impurities within metal, pure metals such as platinum cannot be bent. After the 100-Year
Stupid.
War, Toph opened the Beifong Metal Bending Academy to share her knowledge of the technique with the rest of the world. Her efforts eventually led to the establishment of Republic City's metal bending police force. Later, Toph's youngest daughter, Suyin Beifong, founded Zhaofu, a city made entirely of metal, and the majority of its inhabitants practice metal bending. If we had to rank the strongest metal benders, we would do so as following. At number 5, we would place Korra, the first avatar to ever bend metal.
Where do you think
something that
Kuvira
not even
is?
Aang-
I think she's gonna be number 2. And I think number 1 will be Toph. Only because remember when Korra was in the forest and the whole time she's like she doesn't know why she feels like weak and she doesn't have the powers. And then Toph was the only one able to get the final amount of poison, the metal poison, out of her system. Because all the other metal benders, her 2 daughters, couldn't even sense it. They thought they got it all out, but they didn't.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's why Toph is the strongest. I mean, case in point.
What's her name?
Hey guys, look at this. They agree. They agree on something. How
Kuvir?
about
Is that her
that?
name? Kuvir?
Kuvira, I think
Kuvira?
she might be, I don't know, maybe
That's
number
tough, though.
4.
I think she's gonna
Dude,
be 2.
I would put Lin and Suyin above Kuvira. Like,
Oh, you're so wrong. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
well, dude, she was in like a Transformer.
Let's see.
That was stupid.
Let's see.
4, we have Suying Beifong.
Oh,
which,
look at that.
although debatable, not only her middle name is weaker than her sister.
Uh-oh.
Number 3, we have Lin
Uh-oh.
Beifong. Number 2, Kuvira.
Oh,
Number 1,
number
none
2.
other than Toph Beifong.
I called it.
The ability of Earth is something that was once again
That's
first
just
developed
cap,
by
bro.
Toph.
That's just cap.
1 point, Adam.
Or
1 point,
was it
Adam.
now? Well, not only Toph learned this skill from the Badger moles,
What
Toph was not
happened
even
to
the
Adam?
first known human to develop this skill. Why? Well,
think
we'll
his scarf
explain
fell
that
off.
in a bit. Seismic sense is the unique ability to perceive an environment by feeling acute vibrations through the ground, similar to sonar and echolocation. Seismic sense enables the practitioner to detect earthen objects and objects in contact with Earth when out of sight. The technique provides a specific map of the user's surroundings, detailed enough so a blind person, such as Toph Beifong, can navigate effortlessly. It can also be used to detect when someone is lying by feeling their heart and breathing rates through the Earth. Badger moles, the original
Pretty OP.
Earthbenders, use
That's
seismic
crazy.
sense as an innate substitute for eyesight.
But
And
it
this
didn't work
technique was
on Azula.
adopted by Toph after she observed the badger moles that lived in the mountains
That's 'cause
surrounding
she was able
Gaoling. In
to
combination
keep
with
her
metal
heartbeat
bending,
the
this
same.
technique can also be applied to metallic surfaces. The known users of this ability are Toph Beifong, Avatar Aang, Lin Beifong, Suyin Beifong, Ai Wei, as well as 2
I hate
characters from
Ai
the
Wei.
light novels, Yun and John Shu. John Shu was an earthbending master
know
at the
these
peak
guys?
of his power, and he was the de facto ruler of most
the
of the Earth
comic?
Kingdom, though his power was constantly challenged by various opponents. He lived during the time of Avatar Kuruk. Now, when it comes to Yun, well, this case is a special one. You see, Yun lived during the era of Avatar Kyoshi and was dubbed as the false Avatar due to some of his insane abilities that mistook him as a
Dude,
master
it's a
of all
really good
elements.
book.
How is that possible? Well, hear me out. Yun was an extremely skilled earthbender, having been trained by various bending masters and possessing a great amount of raw strength,
Oh, wow.
as well as a proficiency for finesse. He developed a new technique of writing with stones and pebbles to communicate from long distances. Yun was also capable of other extremely rare earthbending abilities, such as using seismic sense, bending mineral-based pigments, and liquefying stone without using heat to control in ways akin to waterbending. Because of that, he made Earth so liquid that it seemed as if he was bending water, when in reality he was
that
just
kinda
having
like
a liquid
lava
form
bending?
of Earth. Yun was also
A little
adept at
bit,
using
but it
rock
didn't get
gloves
hot.
with his earthbending for quick attacks, and he was
How would it not get hot? How would it turn into a liquid then? When you have to like melt the rock? Or he was just
he
able to
just-
like break it down into a liquid? That's crazy.
Kind of like how Toph did with the meteor that fell. Like, it kind of looked like liquid, but it wasn't hot. He would find like soft rocks, and then he would just make them look liquid with his bending.
I'm an idiot, I guess. I don't know if you guys thought that already or not, but how is lava bending not a fire bending thing? Why? How is that a earth bending?
Because
lava.
Do you know
what is
lava
lava made
is-
of?
Yeah, but lava like is like molten rock, but it's also so hot. So it's like a mix of fire bending because it's like an eruption. It's like an eruption.
Well, a firebender could use the fire part, or it could cool it down with their firebending abilities, but they can't control Earth.
Okay, but are lava benders able to create the lava?
It's kind of like how water benders can change the form of water to ice. They can change the form of Earth to hot Earth.
That's why it's a very specialized skill. There's only 2 people that we know of that can even do it.
All right.
one who passed this skill down to Kyoshi. He was also skilled in matters of poisoning, subterfuge, and covert assassination due to special tutelage from his
What in the world
waterbending
is
master
that?
Amok. Now, let's see how we rank the known users of seismic sense. At number 7, we place Ai Wei for obvious reasons. At number 6,
Nice try,
we have
Ai Wei.
Jin
Is
Shu,
Toph
and
still
from
number
here,
1?
things start to get
Or is
tricky,
that-
as spots 5 to 3 are quite debatable.
Toph's gotta
I will
be number 1.
placing Suyin Beifong at number 5, Lin Beifong at number 4, and at number 3, Avatar Aang, that showcased to have fully mastered this
Aang is kinda
technique from his
mid.
training with Toph. He even used this ability to fight Fire Lord Ozai. At number 2, I will
True.
place Yun. And at number 1, Toph.
Let's go,
Ability to use
Toph!
This ability
Dude,
for every
Yun versus
second
Toph
of
is the
her
goat.
entire
Toph is-
life.
Toph is the
And
goat.
now we have
She's
a
the greatest
special
of all
ability
time.
that is
Except for
probably
lava.
a plot hole. Why do I say that? Well, hear me out. Lava bending was originally meant to be something only avatars can use by bending both fire and earth at the same time.
That's facts,
That's why
actually.
we saw Avatar Roku and Kyoshi performing lava bending. Kyoshi utilized the technique to split her peninsula from the Earth Kingdom mainland. Roku
See you
used
later.
lava bending on 3 different occasions. He caused a volcano to erupt at the fire temple on Crescent
was
Island. He
epic.
employed lava bending while working with Sozin to save his home island.
That might
and he
be my
also used
favorite
lava
episode in
bending to
Avatar.
destroy the fire temple during the winter solstice. However, this ability was later changed in Legend of Korra, and thus became an earth bending ability rather than an avatar ability. In Legend of Korra, Korra. Lava bending is a rare technique that involves the manipulation of
There is a
molten
lot of
rock.
fire there.
Using
That is
lava
kinda
bending,
stupid.
Kazan was able to form
Everything
shivering-
stupid, though, comes from
See?
Korra. I just want to tell you that.
That is
It wasn't a
dumb.
thing.
It's
It wasn't a
really
thing in
hard to make it
Avatar.
stupid.
It wasn't a thing. I agree. It's kind of dumb. It is kind of dumb. And it's from Korra.
Thank you.
The only thing that makes sense to me is water can turn into ice, so earth can turn into lava. That kind of is the comparison that I draw.
Yeah, but it would make sense that waterbenders could cool things.
You know what they should do then? They should make waterbenders be able to turn water into steam, and then they can bend steam, which pretty much
Or-
makes them an airbender.
Instead
at
of
that
steam,
point.
just do boiling hot water.
Yeah, just burn
And you
them.
could burn people.
projectiles that are capable of burning through several mediums, creating trails of molten rock to attack his opponents, and otherwise manipulate lava with great dexterity. Bolin discovered his aptitude for the skill while he, Mako, Asami, and
Lava
Tenzin
is
were
so
escaping from the
overpowered,
Northern Air
I'm
Temple.
telling you,
If we
the
had to rank those
strongest
two
ever.
lava benders, I would place Kazan at number 2 and Bolin at number 1, simply because despite
ahead,
learning the skill
Bolin.
only moments earlier, Bolin showed an impressive mastery
took out
over
a
this
Mecha
ability.
Godzilla.
And now we reach the final special bending ability, energy bending. You see, energy bending is the ability to bend another person's life energy. It predates the 4 main bending arts, the formation of the 4 nations, as well as the creation of the Avatar. Before the Avatar came into existence and the separation of the 4 nations, the lion turtles bent the energy within humans and themselves in order to grant them the ability to bend one of the 4 elements. However, after the lion turtles
Okay, I don't know, Adam. I want to get your thoughts on this because there's multiple different theories as to how people got bending. There's that they got it from the lion turtles, or did they learn it from the creatures on the planet? Like, did firebenders learn it from the dragons?
Well, I think
Adam?
Korra also ruined that theory, but I think it's 50-50. I think both are true. I think it's something that could be given to you, which it has to be true because that's what the lion turtles gave. But we also know from Toph Beifong that it's a learned skill that you could learn how to do it through watching animals.
If you can learn how to do it, then why can't people learn how to do different bending, like different elements?
Because I think
Like
it's
just become the Avatar.
it's something where like it would be like you have the ability to do it, but if you didn't practice, you would never have it. So like people like Toph, she could have never been a waterbender, but she had like the ability to be an earthbender. She always had that ability, but she got really good because of the badger
Yeah, but
holes.
to have the ability
She was
to do
born
it,
with
you need
it.
to be touched by the lion.
No, she was born
turtle.
with it. I think she was born with it.
So she was born with it because of the lion turtles really early on in the series that gave it to everybody, and then that made the 4 nations, and then they just passed it on.
Yeah.
Because in order to become a bender, one of your parents has to be a bender.
It's a recessive gene.
Right. So I think that that's the theory. And then like you're saying, that the animals didn't necessarily give the bending, but they taught them how to use the bending in a better way.
Yeah.
Alec?
I like it.
I like you.
renounced their roles as protectors of mankind. Energy bending was no longer used to grant people bending, and the knowledge of energy bending was almost completely lost. By the time of Avatar Aang, there was only one lion turtle left with the ability to energy bend, who later passed down the ability to Aang. Aang
That was
used this
pretty
ability
wild.
to remove Phoenix King Ozai's firebending, and 28 years later, Aang did the same thing to Yakan's ability to waterbend. Also,
Yeah,
after the
suck it.
Equalists
Imagine
later
just getting
Amon
touched by a
severed
man
Korra's
and you can
bending,
no
apart from her
longer
air
do
bending,
your-
of course.
you know,
Aang's
your
spirit
abilities.
used energy bending to restore
your
her
life just
ability to
gets
bend
sucked
all
from you.
elements, and passed on.
That would be like somebody like chopping off your hand or something, right? You just like can't do things that you're used to doing anymore.
Yeah.
No, it would
Adam,
be
if you got
like-
your nose chopped off. You would be.
It would be like LeBron. Like you watch LeBron, he's like the best player of all time, and then somebody just walks up and slaps him in the face, and then he forgets how to play basketball.
Yeah.
I think that happened to
Yeah.
Markel Fultz.
Yeah.
Something happened to him.
Knowledge to her. Later, Korra used it to return Lin Beifong's ability to earthbend, to restore the bending of Amon's non-triad victims, and to stop Kuvira's spirit energy cannon. Although the full capabilities of energy bending are not fully understood, what is known is that bending a person's life energy can impart them with knowledge instantly, remove their bending completely, or restore it. In addition, even though mastering the 4 elements is a necessity for the Avatar, learning energy bending is not considered optional for avatars. But yeah, for sure, it would be a great skill for all future avatars to possess. When it comes to the strongest users, other than the lion turtles, of course, we only have Aang and Korra. We would place Aang at number 2 and Korra at number 1, simply because Korra showcased an additional ability with
I
energy
hate this
bending that
show.
Aang did not, redirecting Kuvira's spirit energy
Korra's more
cannon. Check
powerful.
out this
Confirmed.
video.
Energy, dude. Korra is pretty much like the power level videos that we watch. She didn't have to learn anything.
Dude, there's got to be a power level between Aang and Korra. That would be awesome.
If you guys want to see a power level video, I mean, we got one right here. That is pretty awesome. You guys should click